welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host, Chris Branch. The 10-minute daily podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so we can only focus on one subject. But today, we kind of break the rules, and that is, it's news day. So we're going to focus on a numerous amount of news that's been happening in the world of AI this week. And this week as well, on some of our other podcasts, we spoke about the CES show. We spoke about some of the things that's been happening in the likes of Midjourney and some marketing examples. So we're not going to talk about those type of subjects because we've already kind of covered them. We're just going to talk about some of the other cool things that we've seen over the week. And one of the things that we've seen that kind of really caught our eye this week was to do with Microsoft and Copilot. They've launched it. They've launched it a while ago, but this week they've done a number of things. But the thing that kind of stood out to us was on the keypad, on your keypad, obviously your laptop, you got your keypad or your keyboard, sorry. And what they're going to have very soon is on the new ones, essentially a key that allows you to go directly to the AI, goes directly into Copilot. So, Chris, what do you think about that? Do you think it's a good move?
Yeah, it makes total sense. Anyone old enough to remember Clippy in Microsoft Word will probably remember this little button that you could launch. In that case, it was obviously an on-screen thing. And it actually makes sense not to have it hovering on your desktop all of the time and that you could launch it into being, similar how you just launch any application in your desktop, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, even to the point where, on phones you have a Siri button, similar type of thing, you hold it in and then you can talk to Siri and you only do a certain use case for that, so makes logical sense.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's or what they'll do even on the old ones, I'm sure they'll come up with some form of shortcut, like on the Mac. On Mac you can access your emojis by pressing the FN button, and that kind of gets you to the emoji. So I'm sure they'll do something like that as well. Another interesting news, and this is something about a subject that we are both very passionate about, something that we spoke about as well on some of our episodes, and also when we go live on LinkedIn, and that is AI in healthcare. And something that happened this week I think it was in Ipswich, the Ipswich Hospital, and they use AI to detect lung cancer in new research project.
Incredible.
So what's happening is clinics at the Ipswich Hospital will review X-rays in conjunction with AI as part of the lung impact research. And it's hoped, if successful, it could speed up diagnostic times. So what do you think about that one then?
Brilliant. Anything that's diagnosing and helping doctors in their everyday jobs, especially because they work such long, hard hours. I've recently had to be in the hospital for quite a long time because we had a baby. So I recognize this, they're very tired. They work very hard. And having machine learning, it's one of the most natural things for it to do is to spot differences in images and pattern recognition. So totally makes sense to do X-ray scanning for lung cancer and all cancers, hopefully brain cancer, kidney cancer, whatever cancer it is, skin cancer. It could hopefully, this is early test cases and I'm glad to see it happening in the UK especially, and let's see more of it.
Yeah, I think that we spoke about one regarding, it was on the news probably about 6 weeks ago. We spoke about it essentially
type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, type 2 diabetes, kind of finding out, okay, this person's got type 2 diabetes in, I think it was less than 20 seconds. So again, you're starting to see more and more, and this is something that we think will happen a lot this year, more and more AI in healthcare and medicine. So let's go to the complete opposite side of healthcare, and that's the creative industry. Now, this came out again this week, and it was very interesting what was said. And that is this. The CEO of Getty Images, which is Craig Peters, he made a comment and is trying to put pressure on the Prime Minister around creativity or the creative sector and AI. Essentially, he's saying, you've got a choice. Either support the creative industry or gamble everything on AI. A quote, official quote, Peters said, when I look at the UK, probably about 10% of its GDP is sitting in the creative industries, whether it's movies or televisions. I think, or television shows, I think that making that trade off is risky. If I'm in the UK, betting on AI, less than a quarter point of GDP in UK today, significantly is less than the creative industries. It's a
Mm.
bit of a perplexing trade off. Now, before I give my opinion, what do you think?
I think it's totally at odds with what I've experienced because the creative industry is intertwined with AI as far as I've experienced it, to be honest with you. So saying that they're polar opposites from one another just doesn't gel with me at all. You know, like, in fact, creative agencies are some of the most likely to actually take this AI technology. Now, I'm talking about marketing agencies, and I respect that that's not all creative industries, but that's at least one creative industry in the one I've experienced. So to say that they're polar opposites from one another instantly to me smells, like BS, to be honest.
I think he's in the losing battle. To say to the prime minister, either bet on the creative industry or AI,
Yeah.
I think he will lose.
It's just the wrong approach. It's just not.
Yeah,
It's not. They're not at one with each other.
yeah,
One will not disappear if the other takes precedent. Like
yeah.
that's not necessarily the truth. They could both go up together, and actually, creative industry could be much more enhanced through AI and actually grow much bigger. So,
And
yeah,
also, AI is not just dependent on the create. You don't just use AI for creativity. There's many things like what we just said about the lung cancer and healthcare.
right.
AI is going to be for so many things. In fact, it's going to be connected with everything, whether
Yeah,
we like it or not. It's going to be
yeah.
connected with everything. So I can't see him saying actually we're going to spend less money on AI and
Mm.
rely on people, where the rest of the world is going to be spending a lot of money on AI. I just can't
Hmm.
see it happening. And obviously with Getty Images, they're one of the, if what they traditionally do is they're going to be very difficult to survive the way
Mm.
it is. Obviously they're going to have to pivot and do some form of change,
Mm.
because obviously stock images or even images of even to an extent famous people, you can
Mm.
just, it's a prompt, depending on what platform you use, it's
Yeah,
a prompt to come up with that.
yeah.
So I thought that was quite interesting. Another area that, but we're going to go into more detail about this, is TikTok. And that is
Mm.
TikTok. They're testing AI song generation. So what's happening is they're experimenting where you can be able to just create your own music with a prompt.
That's
And that's
crazy.
just one of many things that TikTok's going to do. Hence why we're going to do an episode very soon about TikTok and what they're doing in this AI space.
Hmm. Yeah,
Now,
that's crazy.
to end it, there's so many news what we could put in 10 minutes, but I think I'll end it with this one, and that is, there was a gentleman who, and this is going to be something that's going to be quite common, and that is he met a virtual girlfriend. Essentially, he created a virtual girlfriend, and to the point it was just more of a partner. Then it was a girlfriend. Then he proposed, and then he married her, and that was, I think, 2019. But unfortunately, recently he had to break up with her. And do you know why he had to break up with her? Tell him, Chris.
Because of a lack of software updates.
A lack of software updates. It didn't update the software, so he had to break up with her. And that is one of the biggest problems
Oh
you're
my
going to find if you're going to have a virtual girlfriend. You're going to have to rely on technology. If there's a power cut for the day or something like that, or the internet. I'm not saying the internet goes down, but their servers go down, or it gets hacked. All of these things
oh,
that
God.
challenges that you're going to have if you decide to have a virtual girlfriend. And this gentleman here, he experienced that. So I shouldn't laugh. We shouldn't laugh. But I'll
Well,
be
it'll
honest,
be
when
a
I read
much
that,
bigger
it's
thing
funny.
in the future, but for now, we can call it hashtag 2024 problems, I think,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
what
Hashtag
is that?
2024 problems.
What is
Brilliant.
that?
So, as we said, there's many more news that's happened this week. So many platform updates, software
Mm.
updates, hardware updates. We spoke about a lot of it already, whether it be our LinkedIn lives that we do, or even on previous podcasts this week. But that essentially, in a nutshell, is the news this week.